you're not going to put my voice on video. Just what African American wrestler or wrestlers inspired you to wrestle?
Well, starting off was probably leaning more towards the Junkyard Dog, Coco Beware stuff that I used to watch when I was a kid. Something about the presence of Coco Beware and the bright colors and the parrot and everything, and the way that the crowd is behind him. Something about that just really grabbed me. Like something can't even tell you. And something about the Junkyard Dog, with the chain, just coming out. The presence that he had. Like, he was another person that just commanded the ring, and his presence was just second to none. It was beyond what most people had at that point.
And what do you feel about being black in America right now?
Being black in America is, well, it's kind of a tough situation sometimes. I don't know, the judgment that can come from some people and the struggles that most people just don't understand. Some of the harassment that most people probably have never dealt with in their life, or don't even understand the point or the fear that kind of stuff strikes into you, not knowing what's going to happen the next time you have a run-in with a police officer or something like that. Right now is a very trying time. It's very tough.
And how do you feel about the many years of accomplishments that African Americans have in the hurdles through wrestling, seeing the Kofi champion, Ron Simmons champion? How do you feel about when you see those African Americans striving?
It's groundbreaking, because if you look back in the day, like when I was a kid, you had guys like Ahmed Johnson. They had belts, but they never got the big belt. They never got the one that mattered, the main one. I mean, they all mattered. They all mattered to me anyway, but they never got the big belt. They never got the big break. They never got the big push. They've all been workhorses from time to time. They've all paid their dues, and they've done a lot that got overlooked and just basically got pushed to the side of the table. But for now, we have people like Kofi Kingston and everybody who's just, they're doing so much more, and they're getting opportunities that guys that look like us have never got before.
All right. Thank you, sir. So what African American wrestlers inspire you to start wrestling, whether it's factions, a wrestler, or just one person in general? Who is people that inspire you?
Well, I'm a singles competitor, so it's kind of like, what if I pick a tag team? Is a tag team okay? Because I like Harlem Heat a whole bunch. But individual, I'm going to have to go with New Jack. New Jack is a hell of an inspiration. Keeps it 100% all the way through. You can tell in his actions and stuff. Man, it's no bullshit. It's like people tell you to go to training because, you can hurt yourself at home. You run into somebody like New Jack, you're not really prepared for anything like that. So, New Jack, Harlem Heat, one of the greatest tag teams, Hall of Famers. Norman Smiley. Bam. Shelton Benjamin's all right. Who's that one dude? Sean Black is all right. A little wet behind the ears, but he's cool.
All right. So, the current state of America, there's a lot going on, especially being African American. What do you feel about what's going on?
Well, naturally, I already, trained Lucha Libre, and I was already prepared for this mask gimmick. But as far as my trainer was concerned, I had good facial expressions, so I didn't have to wear this mask. But good thing, we trained in what we trained in, so now I'm really prepared for anything and everything with my mask. Yep.
No. Like, what do you feel about?
Like political wise.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I was lost for a second. I was like, wait.
I thought you was talking about wrestling. Okay, yeah, like for real, like outside the ropes, man, it's crazy out there, man. Everybody should just love everybody. It's not that hard. Everybody don't want to get hurt. Everybody don't want to go through the pain. And you guys see everybody else's pain. It's like, what can I say on the matter? It's pretty damn easy.
That's actually true. Lastly, you, you're a very humble guy.
Kind of.
And you were able to travel the world with this wrestling stuff. How do you feel about you being, and you're one of them in that bracket of, how do you feel like the growth, seeing the growth of African Americans in the pro wrestling industry? They got the Coffee Champion, the Hurt Business, you know, AEW has guys, and you were able to travel. How do you feel about this new growth in African Americans striving in the pro wrestling business?
I'm not satisfied. And I know there's a lot that feel the same way I do. Should be more, but there's not. And I know this. I'm just one person, so.
There we go. All right.
All right. So am I eyeline here?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at the camera. Or not looking at the camera. Look at the camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. All right. What African Americans inspire you to wrestle, whether it's one person or a tag team or a faction? What were the key things to getting you to the key people to get you go to want to train?
Man, I mean, growing up, I mean, there were so many black wrestlers that were pioneers and paved the way, you know, for, you know, young black, you know, wrestlers that, or even just kids, you know, we're kids back then, we're all fans first and just inspired us to, you know, aspire to want to be, to dream and to, you know, have an imagination of wanting to be, you know, in the business and, you know, under the lights and whatever have you. But so many wrestlers, but I mean, like, just to name a few, like my grandfather, for instance, you know, he's older, whatever. My grandfather was born in 1912, so he used to tell me, you know, I was too young at the time, but I would go back and watch the film clips, of guys like Thunderbolt Patterson, Bobo Brazil, Carlos Colon, you know, Pedro Morales, you know, especially, you know, from various different parts of the world. The Junkyard Dog, the Natural Butch Reed, Ron Simmons, they were a tag team, Doom. You know, again, like the list is just endless of just so many amazing, you know, black athletes, you know, of yesteryear, especially in the golden era of wrestling, that just, you know, knocked down barriers and paved the way for a lot of young up and coming black wrestlers, you know, intergenerationally, even to where we're at now, to where you got a phenomenal who's who of talented black wrestlers, not only on the mainstream with the major promotions, but also, you know, on the independent scene in various states all across the country and around the world.
What do you feel about the climate of just the state of being black right now in America?
Man, it's crazy. I truly believe we're going through a renaissance period, like a consciousness shift, a paradigm shift, if you will. You know, just, you know, but the heightened, you know, state of, you know, political tensions and racial tensions in America. I mean, hashtag this is America. I mean, this is something that is not a secret. It's, you know, not unfamiliar territory, especially, you know, to those, you know, of color, you know, who's been exposed to it, who's been subjugated to, you know, the visceral, you know, ills and ill wills of hate and racism and bigotry and discrimination and whatever have you. You know what I mean? But, you know, all in all, I think where we're at now, we got a long way to go, but I think we're a lot closer to realizing Dr. King's dream, you know, if we can even get to that. But I think we're a lot closer than where we've ever been at any other point in time in the course of, you know, historical events in this country.
Lastly, there have been some strides. A lot more African Americans are at the forefront of pro wrestling. How do you feel? Is it one of the best time periods, or should there more be done?
No, I think more should be done. I mean, all in all, I don't think there's enough, you know, black figures in the sport of professional wrestling, in the business, you know, as performers, being showcased, given the opportunities to main event, given the opportunities to be back in the office, to be bookers, to be writers, you know, to be, you know, owners or, you know, agents or whatever have you. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we got a lot of talent, you know, a lot of, you know, intellect, you know, intellectually, athletically, you know, just who we are as a race, as a people. I mean, we bring so much to the table, and given the opportunity, I mean, man, we can completely, change the dynamics of, where wrestling is moving forward.
So so basic same question. What African Americans inspire you to wrestle?
You got Booker T and his brother, Harlem Heat. You see Junkyard Dog. You see you have The Rock's father. You have a whole bunch of African American wrestlers that really inspire me to wrestle. Some of them are just some of the greatest wrestlers to ever step foot in the mat. Especially like I was saying with the Junkyard Dog. He's battled with some of the best. And Booker T, he was the best. He didn't get that respect anymore, but like he was one of the best. I got a lot of respect for a lot of people that did it before me.
All right. What do you feel about being black in this climate right now in America? Just being black in America, anything you feel? There's a lot going on.
Yeah. I mean, it's scary. It's it's scary to be it's scary to be who you are. I've been to 2 colleges already, and I've had a lot of racially related incidents, and it's not fun being on the opposite side of that coin. When people look at you different, talk about you to you different, and a lot of accusations. A lot of things happen when you're black. So things that you think like. Let me tell y'all something. Like if y'all live in somewhere good, like LA, somewhere where it's really diverse, and you want to go out to one of them southern, Middle East countries. Like I'm telling you, you go to one of those states, the southern states, and you get a rude awakening of like who you are and who they think you are to them. That's kind of the life that I had to live for a little bit until I came back home, and it's just no place like home. So I think it's scary. You gotta have a little bit of fear while you have your little bit of joy and ignorance to get through life.
Lastly, what do you feel about the state of wrestling today? A lot more African Americans are on platforms with the New Day, Kofi Kingston, a lot of AEW and all that. And do you feel there should be more? Is it not enough, or is it more? Or what do you feel about the state of American wrestling right now? Black African Americans in American wrestling.
Well, me personally, I think there should be more because I know there's a lot of good brother wrestlers out there. Especially my man right here. And like I know a few personally myself that I could definitely throw down with some of the best that work hard. I mean, like the whole organization really is about working hard and going in forward. That's what I would assume like the WWE and the AEW is about. Choosing the best guys, the best wrestlers. But sometimes it's wrong. Sometimes it's politics, and it's about the best body. But you're not gonna find a better match with someone who has a good body than someone who works the hardest. Like guys like the New Day, Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston is our first WWE World Champion. It's just like I know a bunch of wrestlers that should have been WWE champion like way before. Like some guys like Ron Simmons, Junkyard Dog for sure. Booker T. So you had a bunch of wrestlers that definitely had the right to earn it. I would love to see MVP as WWE champion. I thought dude worked hard enough for it. Everybody does, and I guess you get what you put out, but not if you're black. It's not the same thing. When you're black, you don't get what you put out. You have to work harder than everybody else. That's really what you're born with if you want to be a professional wrestler, especially a black professional wrestler. You got to work harder than everybody else, And even with the politics involved, sometimes you can be the hardest worker inside the WWE or the AEW, and you still won't reach the championship. So I guess I just like to see not more of just black wrestlers, but like more opportunities for black wrestlers. You can do more with an opportunity than with 10 people. That's what I always say.
All right. Appreciate you, bro. What African Americans inspired you to believe in your pro wrestling dream?
African Americans have inspired me to believe in my pro wrestling dream. The first person is Tommy Lester Debo Zeus. That was the first celebrity I've seen in Compton. That was him. He was the first. Oh, more?
Oh yeah, go.
Okay. We can go down the line. D'Lo D'Angelo Brown was one of my favorite wrestlers. Whoop! You messing with the real deal now. Mark Henry, especially when he had the 15 years. Oh, I freaking loved him. Ahmed Johnson, Farouk. Ahmed Johnson used to get the craziest Murphys every match, though.
Yeah, his pants were really tight, yeah. Yeah, at least he was buck. It was a big boy.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
The state of Black America. What do you feel about Black America right now? What do you feel about being a black man in America?
I think black people need to stop looking outward. I think it's time for us to look inward. Forget that. We don't need no help. Listen, all we need is us. We need to understand how powerful we are, and we need to do the work. It's that simple. Kobe said it as simple as this. Listen, carpe diem, seize the day. In every practice you have is the most important time is the present. So if you could just be present, whatever you don't like, work towards it. Just like how I said, game banging, I want all the smoke. I gotta stop it. Because if Compton Mania is going to be successful, I have to unite with these gangsters. So when we put on shows in Compton, I don't have to worry about people getting killed. So I want the smoke.
The current state of pro wrestling, we've obviously had Kofi be a champion and things like that. New Day is a lot more black. Do you feel like is there anything more that need to be added?
Whatever needs to be added, amped up in Compton Mania will fulfill that. I'm not worried about nothing what they're doing. Whatever they're doing, God bless you. We wish the best, but I don't give a damn. To be honest.
All right. Yes.